On a cold October morning in 1945, Nuremberg prison held its breath. The stone corridors, usually echoing with the restless pacing of men awaiting judgment, were unnaturally still. Behind one bolted metal door lay Robert Ley, a man who for years shouted loudest about the dignity of the worker, and now faced only his own fate and silence. Ley's ascent was paved by fealty and spectacle. He had been paraded as the workers' friend, head of the German Workers' Front, a man whose hand apparently steadied the labor force of a nation. But the mask cracked early. Documents unearthed after Berlin's ruins revealed not just corruption or unchecked excess, but a man crumbling inside. Alcohol dulled the pain of an old brain injury, leaving his words slurred and his temper unrestrained. Some colleagues whispered that he was an embarrassment to the party. Hitler, though, preferred loyalty over competence, keeping Ley in his post. When the Third Reich imploded, Ley did not join his peers in flight. He was arrested swiftly, marched into a courtroom that no longer obeyed the rules he knew. The indictment was grave: crimes against humanity, orchestrating forced labor, and overseeing a regime that bent millions beneath its yoke. And, in the silence of his cell, Ley came to know a kind of reckoning that had never before touched his life: exposure, disgrace, and a final, inevitable accounting before the world. The days in captivity were marked by breakdowns both physical and mental. Prison doctors and guards noted Ley's rapid collapse: fits of weeping, bursts of shouted demands for Hitler, attempts at self-harm. Once, he tried to strangle himself with a towel. The guards intervened, and Ley's cell was purged of any potential weapon. Yet vigilance waned, or perhaps indifference set in, and extra towel remained, unnoticed, underestimated. On October 25, before dawn, Ley transformed that neglect into his escape. He fashioned a noose, tied it to the exposed pipe above his cell's toilet, and ended his existence quietly, outside the courtroom's reach. The investigation that followed was prosaic: no evidence of violence, no signs that anyone had helped. The authorities declared suicide, closing the book with hollow efficiency. Yet some historians remain unsettled. Why did surveillance relax after a clear prior attempt? Was it simple negligence? Or was there an understated desire to let Ley's fate resolve itself away from the trial? Was the threat of his testimony, potentially damning to others, part of a silent calculus? Documents are inconclusive. Speculation persists in the margins of official history. Ley had always performed power, a bombast masking a profound insecurity, a devotion to the idea of obedience over genuine strength. In the end, he could not submit to the transformation from feared administrator to indicted criminal, from orchestrator to judged. He chose a final, private flight rather than stand before his accusers and victims. His death left a silent blank in the record: no defense, no apology, no reckoning, only the abrupt coda of a life spent bending others to a will that, when faced with consequence, could endure no scrutiny. In that cell, the echoes of false power faded to nothing, leaving only an absence that spoke more loudly than any verdict could. Some falls, history observes, require only the weight of conscience, not a tribunal, to bring down a towering facade.